So maybe you've had the thought or you've heard somebody make the comment about leaders being born versus leaders being made. Well, in this video, I'm going to cover some of the reasons that I don't believe leaders are born. They're not just naturally leaders, but yet it's more they're made, and it's things that are learned over time. So watch the video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Do you think leaders are born or are they made? So number one, leaders take responsibility for their actions. And for me, I don't see that as something that people just naturally do on a regular basis. It has to be a conscious decision that when something happens, you take responsibility, whether it is, I need to be responsible and go take this action, or we made a mistake, it was on me, I take responsibility for it. Whatever responsibility you have to take, that is a in the moment conscious decision that that person has to make. Maybe naturally they're more humble. Maybe naturally they're more self-aware. Things like that that would lead them to be more responsible. But in that moment to take responsibility, a leader is going to be somebody that makes a decision. So in that way, that's not something that's born into you. That's something that you become over time. Second thing that I think of when I hear this comment is leaders are adaptable. Leaders don't just rely on what they know, what they're naturally gifted at, and they just run and stay consistent completely in that. Leaders will adapt to the situation. If they need a different skill set, if they need to learn something, or maybe they can't learn something and they go and pull somebody in that is an expert in that area, leaders will adapt to whatever situation arises. That's something that's not just born. We're not born in a way to have all of the skill sets, all of the knowledge, and be know-it-alls. We have to be able to adapt, and most of the time that is a learned behavior. That is something you read a book, you listen to podcasts, you watch YouTube videos. You are doing things to adapt and improve and become better. That is a trait of a leader, and that is something that you become over time. That is another argument for leaders being made. Another thing that I believe makes leaders different and the way that they are made and not born is leaders are constantly learning. Leaders are readers. Leaders are learners. You can see behind me, there's tons of books. I love to read. I love to learn. I love to gain more knowledge about different concepts, different ideas, different beliefs, just to well round myself into what's going on. Leaders are all about learning and developing and then passing that knowledge on to other people. I was not born with all kinds of knowledge. I was not born with the knowledge of all these books behind me. I was not born with all of the life lessons that I've learned up until this point. Those are all things that I learned over time through experience, through effort, through intentionality. I have learned over time. So by that, I was not born a leader in the sense that I had all of this great knowledge. I had to learn it, and I'm still learning. I still don't know it all, and I will never know it all, but I can still learn and grow and develop because I'm constantly learning. Another trait that I don't see leaders being born with is motivation to act. Some people, I do believe in their spirit, in their behavior, they are more entrepreneurial. They are more of a go-getter. They're more maybe extroverted than introverted. There are people with those types of characteristics. But somebody who is motivated to go above and beyond and to serve others, to give back to others, to teach others, and to do all of those things that a leader does, I don't see all of those being born into a person. I see maybe a couple of those traits, and then you build and you learn off of those couple. So a good example of this so far, and then I've got one more important thing to share. One of these examples is my communication ability. Me as a teenager would have been terrified to be talking to a camera or to speak in front of people. I would have broke down into like shaking and into a cold sweat, been stressed out, super big social anxiety. But I gave certain communication things a try. I started practicing at it. I started improving. I had mentors that helped me, gave me advice. And over time, it became a more natural giftingness. People see me and say, wow, you're such a natural communicator. Really, not so much. Really, it was something I had to learn. I had to work at. I had to grow because it didn't come to me naturally from the beginning. There were traits of it, my ability to connect and relate to people, My ability to speak quickly or to use certain words in certain ways that just made sense, that may become naturally. But my ability to communicate, to speak, to convey ideas without getting just completely broken down, nervous, and anxious, that took time. That took learning. That took effort. That was something that had to develop. And that's one of my greatest leadership skills is communication. But yet it's one that I've had to work at the hardest to improve and to refine and to make it as good as what it is so that I can produce YouTube videos. So one more thing that I have for you guys, that I do not believe leaders are born, rather leaders are made. And that is in their empathy towards others. Most people in our own physical, mental state, we're more selfish than anything. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm not saying that to be harsh. That's just a natural tendency of human beings. We want to watch out for ourselves. We want what's best for us. We want the best outcome for us, the best improvement for us. We're very self-centered, very selfish in a lot of ways. But to have empathy towards others, to care about others, to care about what they've got going on, to invest into others and pay attention to who they are, what they've got going on, and how we can care about them and help them learn and grow in addition to ourselves, that is a key trait of a leader. And that is something that is also a learned behavior. That's something that maybe you see people in the Christian faith that they demonstrate that more often, but it's because of their faith. That comes from their faith. Maybe you see somebody that's in a counselor type of role or a teacher at a school. They have some more of those traits to be more empathetic. They've chosen to do that. Maybe there's elements of that was natural, but they had to choose to do it. So my understanding, this is what I believe about are leaders born versus made. I believe there are people that do have natural giftings in some areas, but that does not make them a leader. Maybe they naturally are charismatic, but they don't have the ability to cast a vision or communicate it. Maybe they're naturally a communicator, but they don't have charisma in their communication, so they're kind of boring. Or maybe they're somebody that they've got great problem-solving skills, but they have terrible social skills. There's always something in people that maybe they're born with something that's good, but they have to learn and develop other things to more round their skill set so that they can be a true, genuine leader. So I am curious. Let me know down below in the comments, what are your thoughts? Are leaders born? Are they made? And do you agree or disagree with these thoughts and my beliefs about leaders being born versus made? I'll see you in the next one.